Namaste everybody, welcome to your Monday dynamic practice. So we're going to move through some quite deep work in core and hip areas. So for those of you who have lower back issues and who have hip issues maybe, SI dysfunction issues, then just be very careful with these external rotations of the hip and the leg, and also this core work. So just think about maybe keeping the legs bent rather than straight, maybe one leg at a time rather than both. Decide how you want to break it down carefully today to make sure you don't hurt yourself. And also you might want to bring a sort of rolled up towel or a little blanket with you to just stick under various bits of the body at various points to just help you relax into the poses. So without further ado, we're actually going to start lying down and then gradually come up to standing. So we're looking to start in a supine Tadasana. So Tadasana is, a standard pose. We do it every practice. We possibly don't think too much about it. So think about getting yourself into a nice lying Tadasana position. So this is an active pose, and we'll take our breathing here as well. So carefully lie yourself down. If it's safer for you to go down onto your to your hip and then lie down carefully, then do that, or hold on to the back of your knees. We're going to stretch the legs out, and they're going to come straight out of each hip joint, so nicely in line with your pelvis. Have a little check, make sure they're nicely in line, and your arms are going to be down the sides. So what you might want to do is just rest your head down, circle the shoulders a little bit. It's a bit difficult with the floor in the way, but just circle the shoulders a little bit, and then just sort of lift the heart to the ceiling as you draw the shoulder blades together, and just draw the hands down the sides, and then relax the hands. Flex the toes and the feet and bring the toes towards the knees. Try to avoid pushing down through the backs of the knees, and just draw the legs into the belly. Lovely. And then finally lift the head again, tuck the chin in, and stretch through the top of the head. So you should feel those natural curves in your lower back and behind the neck, and you should feel nicely engaged. If it's too much in the ankles, then lessen it off a little bit. Take a deep breath in here, bring the breath into the belly, all the way up to the top of the lungs. Drop the belly and breathe out. Next, high quality in-breath, lifting the belly, using your diaphragmatic breathing. Drawing the breath high and wide and breathing out. One or two more times, focusing on the quality of the out breath. So gradually bring your bandhas into play now, pulling up the pelvic floor, tucking in your tummy, so Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and just make sure now that you're bringing the breath higher and deeper. You'll feel the lungs travelling sideways as the back is constricted. Inflate the lungs as best you can whilst tucking in the bandhas. Two more breaths here. Using your Ujjayi breath, closing the soft palate of the throat if that helps you today. So very gently, bending one leg at a time, release and settle your Tadasana out into more of an Apanasana. So we're going to bring one knee in, hug it in and breathe out. Just let these muscles stretch and develop. The stretch takes a little bit of time, can take up to sort of 90 seconds in some people who are very, very tight in this area. When you're ready, swap it over to the other side. No hurry, you can spend time taking your time in this pose, just opening up the hips. Feel free to repeat if you prefer to straighten the leg. So one set bent leg, one set straight legged. Breathing out and just gently guiding that knee towards the chest. We're going to come up to a seated position now. So again, to save your back, if you prefer, you can roll onto your right hand side and push yourself up, or come straight up to a seated position. So we're going to come into a Navasana-esque pose. So we're going to bring the fingers behind the bottom, a little way away, so you've got a bit of play and you can allow yourself to go back a little bit if you need to. Still thinking about leading the pose from the heart. So lifting the heart up, stretching up. So draw the shoulders up and then down the back and towards each other as you bring the elbows in. Taking a deep breath in, just lifting yourself up and lifting the legs to bent position. Drawing the energy in the legs like straws, sucking into the banders. Holding here. You can straighten one leg. Release. Straighten the other leg. Release. Check how you are feeling. Release that off. Lovely. So carefully does it then. We're going to bring ourselves back up, but this time we're going to cross the legs. So bring ourselves back into the position. Build the pose from the top of the head. Stretch through the top of the head. Draw the shoulders back and down and together. The heart center opens upwards and outwards. And draw the energy up the legs as you cross the legs at the ankles. And we're going to take twists here. So keep drawing the knees into the center and maybe drawing the knees away. So breathing in at the center and breathing out, roll and push away. Breathing in center, breathing out, roll and push away. When you feel that you're getting fatigued, particularly in the belly and in the hips, then you can change sides. Take a rest in the middle, cross the legs the other way, draw the legs in, lift the heart, keep the heart lifted as you just twist to the other side. So carefully does it, working carefully, rolling from one side to the other, getting the breath just right, breathing in and out, in and out. Lovely. Carefully release that off. Cross your legs then. I'm going to bring ourselves back up to seated. I'm going to bring the hands behind. So again, the same position. Bring the fingers behind, maybe a little bit further this time. Carefully does it. We're looking at the height that we need here. So drawing energy up the top of the head, drawing the shoulders back and down, and popping the heart up and sort of opening up the back. Again, just caution with that lower back. You can look up if you want to. Breathing here and expanding the front of the body at the same sort of length and level as the back of the body. Lovely. Keep breathing here. Excellent. And then carefully does it, bring yourself into a Navasana. It can be a Navasana of your choice. You can be holding behind the legs. Keep tall, keep lengthened, keep the bandhas in and lift the legs. Holding, pressing together, letting the arms go, straightening up into more of a pose if you prefer. Lovely. Fantastic. So cross your legs, roll through your Vinyasa. Take it slow to start with because we haven't done much moving yet. So bring your hands in front, flip one leg out behind. Take a moment as you get the front end connected. So rolling the shoulders back and down, kicking the heels of the hands in, activating your L's and bring yourself into your plank. Knees down if you need to, otherwise through your chaturanga to your up dog. Press the feet in, feel that openness and breathe out into your down dog. Take a moment here, pedal the feet, we're not staying, and look up and ready, walk back through to seated. So carefully does it then. We're going to lie ourselves on the floor again, hug each knee into the chest in an Apanasana style, and then we're going to take some leg extensions. So carefully does it then. There's a little cycle here that we're going to work through. Okay, so take a deep breath and breathe breathe out, lower yourself down. Settle and straight leg Apanasana, so Ardha Apanasana, stretching and opening. So feel slightly like you're working towards a lying splits. Swap the legs over, keep tucking the chin in and stretching through the top of the head. And opening up the hip. Hips should feel a little bit easier now, maybe after those first poses that we did. So we're going to catch the foot now into our Supta Ardha Padangusthasana. So we're going to grab the toe, stretch up to the ceiling. Feel free to use a scarf or anything that would help you with this. Draw the shoulder down the back, kick through the heel. The knee can be bent, drawing it into the body. If you can straighten, great. Avoid locking out the knee. Activate the left leg and see if you can bring that leg down towards you. You feel the arch in the back increasing. Just try and flatten it off. Not so much pushing the lower back into the floor, but just leveling off that pelvis. Carefully does it. Going to open it out to the right hand side, placing your left hand on the hip. And as that starts to roll off, just make sure that you're keeping yourself as flat as possible. Don't go too far. Keep breathing here. Your straight leg is your counterweight. Breathing. Over to the other side. So catch the foot, stretch up and roll off. So open up this side, stretch away, and you can roll right over, activate the legs, and then reach behind you. Lovely. Stretching. All on the right leg at the moment. Bring it all the way back up. This is a challenge, so feel free to do this one leg at a time. Carefully does it. Going to activate the legs, kick through the heels, lower the legs down, and then bring the legs back up. See if you can keep everything static and avoid that sort of increase in lordosis that coming into the lower back. See if you can keep drawing the energy up the legs, into the belly. Trying to avoid that cramping in the neck. Lovely, fantastic. Hug the knees into the chest to give yourself a little rest. Lovely. Carefully does it then. We're going to bring ourselves into that twist now. So we're going to cross the right leg over the left. Guide that leg over as we grow the pose across to the right. So staying on the floor first this time, not rolling off, and then stretching away. If you need to straighten that leg out, then feel free. Lovely. Stretching away, different stretch to the earlier one, and bring it back in. Catch behind the knees, bring yourself up to an Ardha Navasana. Fan open the toes, fan open the fingers. Take a moment if you feel like you need to reset the back after that particularly active leg lift and lower. Lovely. And then release it down into a Paschimottanasana. So sitting straight, pushing down through the sit bones, sitting yourself up, growing the pose and lengthening. Not worrying too much about where you're getting to, just growing the pose and stretching. Not trying to get to the toes, just listening to the heart, popping it through to the front and stretching away. Lovely. Bring yourself up, cross your legs, roll through, place, take a moment, stretch one leg out, preferably your right, activate the front end into your high plank, your chaturanga to your up dog, and then push back to your down dog. Lovely. When you're ready, come back through to seated. So we're going to take it on the other side now. So making sure then that we're taking our Apanasana again, lying yourself down, straight leg this time, right leg, then left leg. And it's also a stretch into the lower back and a release of the front of the hip as well. So it sort of works around this whole middle section. Excellent. We're going to take a deep breath in. Going to catch the left leg high now. See if you can catch the toe. Use a belt or scarf if you need to. Stretch up, up and away, and relax yourself down. Draw the energy up the leg, both legs, but particularly the top leg. Stretch, 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 and then carefully does it. out to the side. Keeping your eyes on the prize. That's keeping the right butt cheek and the right hip nicely leveled, and open up. Lovely. Bring yourself back to center. I'm going to catch the outside, carefully roll over. I've got to be careful on this side because of sensitivity in my hamstring. Okay, so over to the side, roll over, stretch away, and then open up behind you. Activate both legs and stretch away. Breathing here. Bring it back up. Lovely. Hug your knees into your chest to release off. Excellent. So carefully does it then. We're going to do the same leg lift again. So again, feel free to do it one leg at a time if you prefer. So I'm going to draw the energy into the bandhas, up the legs, into the belly. So settle. Bring that energy back down almost through the SI joints. Bandhas working here. Keep drawing the energy in as you lower down, breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Couple more if you can manage it. Lovely. Paying attention to what's happening in the lower back. Hug the knees into the chest. Carefully does it then, straightening the right leg, crossing the left leg over, this time stretching the left arm and shoulder away, keeping that side of the body nicely aligned as you roll over onto this other side. If you want to, you can stretch that leg away to increase traction. But up to you really. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then carefully does it. Bend that leg as you come back in. Excellent. Bring yourself back up to your Navasana. Settle yourself down. Build the pose from the top of the head, dropping the shoulders away and lifting the arms. So legs up into your boat pose of some description. Drawing energy up. The heart is still singing forward. Release it off. Down into your Paschimottanasana. Settle, push down through the sit bones, lift up and out, activate the legs, and then breathe out, hinging yourself down. I find sometimes opening the hands and sliding them forward rather than that sort of obsessive grab as soon as you see the back just caves. So we're starting to really sort of think about drawing energy down and back up into the heart center as we slide forward and stretch away. Lovely. Carefully does it then. Just check in with your hip flexors. You can feel them maybe leaping up here in this position. And then carefully we're going to go through our half vinyasa to down dog. So take your time to get your plank just right. Chaturanga to your up dog. And push back to your down dog. Lovely. Settle for a moment. When you're ready, take a deep breath in, look up and walk yourself forward. Extend yourself here into an Ardha Uttanasana. So half Uttanasana here, feet underneath the hips, hands on the shins, weight even through all four corners of the feet, pushing down, lifting and lengthening into the belly. Bandha's working hard here as you stretch away and draw the shoulders down the back, leveling up the back, or maybe bringing it up a little bit to feel that extra activation in the back. Lovely, fantastic. I'm going to pedal it a little bit here. So we're going to bring the right knee folded, keep even weight between both feet, so one leg is straight, one leg is bent. I'm going to twist out to the right, keep breathing here, pushing down through both legs. Breathe in, swap over, push down, lengthen, and breathe out, twist. Change again, breathe in, change, breathe out, keep lengthening the spine, lovely. Breathe in, swap, breathe out, twist.
Feel free to stay each side if you prefer. Breathing here, don't forget to breathe. Lovely. Carefully does it. Maybe swapping the hands down to the ankles if you can. Stretching up, up and away. Even weight through toes and heels, lifting the tail, stretching away through the top of the head. Bandhas working here to support the back. Lovely. Stretching away here. Fantastic. So then, carefully does it. We're going to go into sort of a fierce version, but then straightening the legs. So a word of warning here, it's quite strong on the lower back. So it's up to you. You can keep the legs bent, or you could keep the arms low, or both, your call. The more extended the arms are, and the straighter the legs, obviously the bigger the load on the lower back. So keep those bandhas working. So bend the knees, press all four corners of the feet into the floor. Push the floor away as if you're going to do a little hop, and draw that energy up into the belly, into the bandhas. And bring your arms into your chosen position, aligning the spine as best you can, and sitting down, stretching away and drawing the energy down the shoulders, down the sides of the torso, into the hips. Breathing here, and then carefully changing that into a straight leg position. There is a subtle change here, and we're being very careful not to push back through the backs of the knees. Lovely. Breathing here. Fantastic. Soften it off. Bring yourself all the way back up. Breathing in, extended Tadasana. And breathing out, Samasthiti. Lift your chest and heart to meet your thumbs. Lovely. Excellent. So let's take our sun salutations then. So we'll take our two sun A, two sun B, change to maybe our normal sort of routine regime. So we're going to move through those now. So I'll take one of each front and side. So take a deep breath in, A. Breathe out, fold. Use any adaptations you prefer. Breathe in and breathe out. Place stride through your chaturanga to your up dog. Move those shoulders up, back and down, and push back to your down dog. Make your adjustments. Roll the shoulders away and then draw the upper arms back into the body as you settle into your down dog. Flattening out the fingers, flattening out the toes. Try not to lock out the knees, but lifting those legs into the belly. Deep breath in, look up. Stride right, stride left. Extend. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in. Soften those knees off to protect the lower back if you need to. And breathe out. Number 2, I'll swap sides. Deep breath in. And breathe out. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold. Place, stride left to your plank, your chaturanga. Roll the shoulders back and down and push yourself back. Breathing out to your down dog. Make your adjustments. Activate the shoulders, the arms, the belly, the legs. Settle yourself here. And then when you're ready, take a deep breath in. Sweep the left leg forward and the right. Extend. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in all the way back up. And breathe out. Lovely. To B, actually I could do it here, couldn't I? And just go back to the front in a minute. So knees together, take a deep breath in. Utkatasana, avoid that bum flare. So draw the shoulders down, tuck the tail under to level up the pelvis and sit down. Breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Place, jump back. Through your chaturanga, knees down if you need to. Move those shoulders. Pop the heart through and then bring yourself back to your down dog. Right leg high and sweep it through. Traditional warrior, plug that back leg in, straight in, soften and grow the pose with the hips facing forwards. Breathe out. All the way down and through you go. Cycling it through your up and to your down. Left leg high, sweep it through. Plug in traditionally at the back. Plug in, Straighten up, soften at the front. Draw that right hip forward as you lengthen. And breathe out. All the way down. Place through your chaturanga to your up dog. And push back to your down dog. Settle here. Take your time. And then when you're ready, you're going to think about how you're going to travel forward. Your call today, depending on your level of energy. Deep breath in. And spring yourself forward. Extend. Breathe out, fold. Don't forget your Utkatasana. Bend the knees, drop the tail at the suitable moment. And breathe in and breathe out. Samastiti. One more time here, then Sun Salutation B. And I do my sort of X-Men stance. Deep breath in. And next, breathing out, fold. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold. Place, stride or jump. Through your chaturanga to your up dog. And push back to your down dog. Right leg high. Sweep it through. Up to you whether you want to go into the high heel version now to take it deeper. So again here, pushing back through that heel, straightening that leg, curling the tail under. If you need to drop that hip down, so just pop your thumb into that crease of the front leg, just to push sort of down and to level up the pelvis. Breathing here. Breathing out all the way down. Place through your chaturanga to your up dog. Push back to your down dog. Left leg high and sweep it through. High heel if you prefer, or traditional. Settle yourself. Plug in, push down. Just jog in here to that hip. Push down to just open up. See if you can feel that increase. Deep breath in, up. Breathe out, down. Place through your chaturanga to your up dog. And push back to your down dog. Take a moment here. Redress your down dog. Take your time. Reconnect. Settle when you're ready. Deep breath in, look up. Spring yourself forward to the front of the mat. Extend. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in carefully. Push through. Lift yourself up. And breathe out. Lovely. Oh, I can't wait till the hairdressers are open. Oh. Okay, fantastic. So carefully does it then. We're going to go into some sort of squatting style, into some lunging, squatting, lunging, squatting. There will be a vinyasa movement to chain it all together. So just to keep that dynamic flow, feel free to leave those out if you prefer. So then, carefully does it. I'm going to step back for this one. You might want to start sort of halfway down because we are going to stride forward shortly. So you might want to move back from the front of the mat. Feet hip distance apart or thereabouts. Okay, maybe a bit wider if you know you tend to squat with the knees and the toes moving out a little bit. Deep breath in. There we go. Going into a very extended, stretching, active pose. Star the hands, star the feet, draw the shoulders down the back, and then breathe out, lifting the heels as you carefully lower yourself down. There goes my knee, into your squat. Then carefully, we're going to lower it down to the floor and drop the head. Draw yourself back up. Lovely. Carefully does it. You're going to stride the right leg forward into that sort of strange squat and then lift it into a long leg version. Stretch away. Lovely. Carefully does it. Step the left leg in, step the right leg back into the squat position. This time hands on knees. So lift the heels, drawing the bandhas, lift the head, drop the shoulders as you bring the torso up to perpendicular and the knees flatten
and the thighs are now parallel to the floor. Hold. Lovely. Fantastic. Carefully does it then. Bring yourself all the way back up. We're going to repeat on the other side. Stretch up. Star the hands, star the feet. Breathing here. Breathe out. Back down to your squat. Lift your heels. Draw the energy into the bandhas as you lower yourself down into your squat. Lovely. Carefully does it. Start to lower the knees. Draw the shoulders back down. Place the hands in front. Lower down to the floor. Draw the energy back up the legs to help you bring yourself back up. This time, left leg goes forward. Move the weight forward. Right leg goes back. Stretching away and lengthening. Standard high lunge, Vinyasa. Lovely. Keep drawing in the bandhas. Carefully, right leg in, left leg back. Back, walk your hands back. Carefully as you build the pose, hands to knees. Stretch up through the top of the head, draw the shoulders back and down. The bandhas work hard here. The heels are high and the knees are dropping down. Holding. Lovely. Carefully, hands forward. High plank to chaturanga, to your up dog. Stretch out those ankles. Oh, that's nice. And push back to your down dog. Take a moment here to just reset the ankles, the knees, the quads, and the lower back, all affected by those squats we've been doing. Lovely. So, carefully does it now. We're going to bring the right leg through to the front now. So, take a deep breath in. Sweep the right leg high. Oh, I'm quite close to the wall there. Stretch away. And bring the right leg through to the front. Low lunge. So low, back knee back. Pad up with that blanket, rolled up towel that you might have handy. Something to stick under your knee. Make sure that you've got these proportions just right. So we definitely want to have a pelvis width. So it's exactly right for your proportions of your pelvis. Settle here, stretch away, pushing into both feet, lengthen up, up and away, draw the legs together, bandhas in. Carefully does it. You might want to check in with this hip crease and just guide it down a little bit more. Lovely, fantastic. So push off, stretch away, keep the foot down as best you can until then you feel that it does want to curl off. Draw that leg into the belly. We're not pushing down through the back of the knee, we're drawing the energy up the leg into the belly and the tummy. Keep breathing here. Fist or tented left hand, draw the energy forward through the top of the head and spin to the right. Quite strong, again avoiding that draw to push down through the back of the knee. Lovely. Carefully change that off. Going to move forward again, back into that low lunge. Carefully does it. Fantastic. Deep breath in. Going to bring ourselves up, stretch up, reach the left arm over to the right. Settle yourself down again. Check that you haven't needing to caterpillar that front foot forwards. Lift up and lengthen. Push down through both feet as you spin. And there's an opportunity here, if you prefer, to flick up and catch that back foot. Breathing here, taking care for those legs to try and maintain that sort of train track. What tends to happen is that then the tightness in the hip and pelvis will start to spin the back leg in and the front leg out. So just be careful with that. Lovely. Take a deep breath in. There is the option to take that with both hands back together. So your call, depends how that knee is, and that's why we're doing the padding, because moving over that kneecap is quite strong. So you can catch the back foot. Lovely. And bring yourself back up. Half vinyasa through. Don't worry about the blanket, you can work around it. Coming up to your up dog, pushing back to your down dog. Lovely. Left leg high this time, sweeping it through to the front. Into your low lunge, swap your prop over to the other knee. Check your proportions, check your knee at the front.
breathing here. I'll take this in a slightly different fashion. So I'm going to spin to the right now. Lovely. So getting it as deep as you can manage, proportions just right, fingers low, draw the shoulders back and down, push both feet into the floor, just check in with this hip, see if you can just gently guide it down to the floor, just a little bit more. Sometimes it's just rolling a little bit out of the way of this hip joint to get into the pose a little bit deeper. Don't be afraid to do that, depending on your proportions. Breathing here, lovely. Push off, keep the foot flat as best you can, and then as it starts to peel off, peel the foot off, draw the energy up the leg, avoid that push down of the knee, and drag the leg into the body, sucking energy up into the belly and the bandhas, stretching away here. Lovely. Check you're nicely balanced, make sure I'm on that line. Tent or fist the right hand, push down and lengthen, and then breathe out. The length in the spine, really important as you bring yourself into that twist. Keep drawing the left leg up and avoid the temptation to push down through the back of that straight knee. Just take an approximated version if you're not sure. Release that off, bring yourself forward. You're going to bring yourself up high now, so you may go a little bit deeper. You may want to caterpillar that foot forward. Bring yourself up high, and then carefully does it. You're going to sweep the right arm over, lengthen through the top of the head as you sink down. Keep drawing the energy up the legs into the bandhas and push down through both feet as you then spin to the side. Open up to the side, drop the shoulder away, the heart pings through to the front, keep breathing. Option here to flick up with the back foot and catch the back foot. Hold here, option to spin it round. Woohoo, it's a little bit of a balance. Open up and lengthen. Carefully does it, release it off, place the hands, stride back, chaturanga to your up dog, and push back to your down dog. Lovely. Take a moment to just settle it off here. We've done quite a bit of hip opening there, so just take a moment in your down dog. Lovely. When you're ready, you're going to jump back through to the front, jump your feet forward, extend Ardha Uttanasana. So again, activating all four corners of the feet. Push down, bring the arches of the feet up slightly. Draw the energy up into the legs. Lengthen away the tail, draw the tail under lightly as you stretch away. Lovely. Soften it off and bring yourself all the way back up. Breathe out to your Samastiti. Lovely. So, options here then. We're going to take a standing balance into a Natarajasana. It's going to work with the right leg to start with. Okay, so I'm going to move back and turn sideways. I'm just going to have a quick drink. Okay, so then, carefully does it. We're going to bring ourselves into standing balances. There's going to be an activation of the leg, bringing the knee into the chest, okay, and then an opening up into more of a sort of ballet-esque position. So you can use fists of fire if you want to. Try not to collapse the back, okay? Try to keep nice and upright. So, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And then catch the foot as it goes backwards, knees together, heel to hip, lift and lengthen the front of the body as you open this shoulder. Pop the heart through into your Natarajasana dancer. So entirely up to you where you get to here. I prefer an expansive, lifted pose. Some other people drop their torso down much further. You decide. Okay, so find where you can hold your dancer for a little bit. Sorry about the dogs. I'm doing a lot of barking today. Lovely. Okay, carefully does it then. We're going to swap ourselves onto the other side. So, we're going to bring ourselves back up here to the front of the mat. Samastihiti. Nothing's lined up today. There we go. Okay. Then we're going to bring ourselves, so left leg out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. Dogs really put me off. And breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out, and breathing in, and breathing out. Catch the foot as it goes back, bring the knees together, draw the heel into the bottom. As you open up the left shoulder, heart pops through, shoulders grow backwards, and you start to lengthen up, up, and away into your chosen dancer pose. Taking care to keep that pelvis nice and level. Lovely, very nice. Taking a deep breath in, releasing that off. Fantastic. Okay, so carefully does it then. Going back down through Samastihiti. We're going to take a Vinyasa shortly. So we're going to come back up to our standing position Samastihiti. We're going to go back down through a squat, but this time we're going to tack in our crow pose, Bekasana. Sorry, yes, do I mean Bekasana? No, I don't mean Bekasana. I mean Bakasana. I'm getting my frogs and my crows mixed up. Not very good. Okay, so carefully does it then. We're going to bring ourselves into that expanded standing pose. Expand out, pushing down through the feet, rooting and earthing yourself. Stretching up and away, centering. Drawing the energy to where you need it most. Breathing out, down to your expanded squat position. High heels, drop knees, draw the energy up the arms, shoulders drop down and away, and hold here. Lovely. Folding it over, widen the knees, bring the hands into position as you draw yourself into your chosen crow pose. So if you're just bringing yourself carefully into checking position, just be careful you're not going to face plant here. The trick with this one is to keep the gaze high and the band is pulled in. Hands a bit wider I find helps me. Elbows fanned out to give the knees a little platform. Lift the heels but drop the tail and look up. Draw the shoulders down the back as you lift up, up and away into your crow pose. Lovely. Find the balance where you can hold it. Excellent. Then carefully does it. Shuffle the feet and the knees back together, back through your squat, but this time you're going to bring your hands down. This can be a Padangusthasana if you prefer, or Padahastasana, so you can have palms flat, back of hands flat, or the bind, you choose. Fold yourself up and breathe out, down, lengthening down and away, but lifting the tail, pushing down through the feet and popping the heart through to the front. Lovely. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold. Place, stride or jump through your chaturanga to your up dog. And push back to your down dog. Take a moment here, settling, resetting the spine, resetting the hips and the legs. And when you're ready, come down to your knees and down to locust. Sorry, I should have said there, you've got an option to take three pumping planks. So it's your call. My eyesight's not that great at the moment. I can't quite see my class plan. So it's up to you. From your high plank, you could take your 3 dips and then to your chaturanga. If you need to save your back, drop your knees. Keep thinking about the length of the spine. Lovely. And carefully down to lying on the floor. Excellent. So lying on the floor here, going to take our locust plus proper Bekasana now, frog pose. Okay. So carefully does it then. If you need to pad up your pelvis, I know I do because I'm quite bony in the front here, then it's good to have a little pad underneath the pelvis. Draw your arms behind you and bring the palms uppermost. Look at the floor, lift each leg away, draw the shoulders down the back and bring the hands into the clasp. If you need to roll the shoulders open and draw the shoulders down, draw the clasp down towards the bottom. Deep breath in and breathe out. Expand yourself in to that lifted locust position. Lovely, flying locust Very nice. Release that off. Take a moment, make a little pillow, bend your knees, release the windscreen wipers. Lovely. Carefully does it then. One leg at a time is fine. Just check in with each leg so you'll know if they're too close together, because if you can feel your thighs and knees together, a bit too close. If they feel out to the side, and if you look back you can see that the legs are a bit too wide, draw the legs in parallel. Okay. Carefully turn the head to the side. I'm going to catch each foot. Now the knees might and the feet might move out for that, but that's okay. Just draw the energy back in, and we're going to just bring the energy into the front of the legs, the front of the belly, the banders in. Draw the elbows back and down, shoulders back and down, as we just guide the feet down towards the bottom. Now officially in Bakasana, the feet obviously go past the bottom out to the side. Now for some people that is going to cause excuse me, major issues with their knees. So just work carefully. It might be just a simple one-footed catch and drawing the heel down to the bottom and then maybe past and then swapping sides. Lovely. Or it might be grabbing both, realigning, drawing in and up and pulling those feet down and away. Carefully does it. Going into an up dog now or a cobra. So you've got options here. Sphinx pose, all poses, the heart sings. So stretching up through the top of the head, the shoulders drop back and down, lifting up into Sphinx. You've got your seal, and then obviously you've got your cobra version as well. I'm not going to take that today just because of niggly issues. Okay, keep breathing here. Lovely, breathing. Carefully does it. Excellent. Push yourself back through to your down dog. You can lose the blanket for the minute. Settle yourself in your dog. Take a moment here and we're going to sit through to seated. Lovely. Bringing yourself down then, okay. Going to take a moment, so going to bring ourselves into our Baddha Konasana. If you want to prop yourself, so that might be your bottom or your feet, you choose, okay. Find the line that works for you, so get the alignment just right, so the heels are right in front of the perineum. Get yourself sat up, push down through the sit bones and stretch up through the top of the head as you draw the shoulders back and down. It might be helpful to move the hands away from the feet to do that. So sit up, hands to shins, hands to knees. Push down and lift up, tuck the chin in. Then move the hands forward and sit up. Press the outer edge of the feet together as you drop the knees down towards the floor. Keep that heart singing through to the front and the energy in the backs of the legs as you breathe out into Baddha Konasana B. So gentle guiding with the hands is allowed, but not actual wrenching. You should be able to release the hands and keep the pose. So hold and stretch, hold and stretch. Keep lengthening, keep popping the heart through to the toes. And it's not about getting yourself to the floor, your nose to the toes. It's about the length of the spine and the expansion you're creating. So see if you can hold that and lessen off. Lovely. Breathe in, bring yourself back. Hands up under the knees, bring it into a bent leg position. So widen the feet off. Feet are bent, legs are bent, feet are wide. Deep breath in, same kind of rules apply this time with a forward fold. So we're going to draw ourselves through to the front, imagining we're sort of going down to a Kurmasana, but not quite getting there. So stretching up and away, lengthening through and fold. Lovely. Bring yourself back up, bring the feet back to parallel in line with the hip joints. I'm going to stretch the right leg away. Take a deep breath in, lengthen forward, bring the left hand underneath the left leg and catch the outside of an active right leg. Deep breath in, lengthen, and then breathe out, twist. Keep breathing here, keep lengthening. So it's about the length of the spine and pushing down through both sit bones evenly if you can.
Lovely. Very nice. Excellent. Bring that back together. You might know where we're going with this, into a seated bird of paradise. So there are two options here. Ekapada, where you can bring the elephant's trunk, rucksacking the leg, draw the energies into the legs, lift the heart up, lengthen, and bring yourself up and hold. Breathing here. Lovely. Or take the variation where you can take it into bird of paradise, where you lift the leg higher and bind behind, shining the feet to the front or to the ceiling, depending on how high you are. Release that off. Excellent. Cross your legs, roll through your half vinyasa. Fantastic. So take it as fast or as slow as you want. Think about the proportions of each pose. Think about the muscular activation and the space creation that you're looking for. Lovely. Then when you're ready, work down to seated. Repeating that on the other side. So, wide legs, we leave the Baddha Konasana out. Legs bent, sit up nice and tall. Draw yourself down and through. Sometimes people catch the feet or slide the hands through. As long as you're not caving the lower back and caving the chest, stretching away and drawing yourself down towards the floor, as if you're moving towards your Kurmasana turtle position. Release that off, bring the legs back in. This time we're straightening the left leg. Activate, right arm goes through and underneath the right leg, catching onto a very active left leg. Push down, draw the energy up the legs as you sit up, stretch up, and then breathe out, spin and twist to the left. Breathing here. Release that off. Swap the pose over into your Ekapada, so rucksacking the right leg. Elbow goes out to the side. Doesn't matter whether you're just above the elbow or whether you're over the shoulder. Looking up, draw the energy up the legs, suck the bandhas in, lift the heart and lengthen. Hold, hold. Don't forget to breathe. Lovely. Release it off and change into that more bird of paradise pose. So lifting, expressing through both feet, catching behind you. There's a bind behind which you can't see. Keep breathing, shining the feet. Lovely. Sitting up, shining the heart. Release off. Excellent. Cross your legs the other way now. Roll through, half vinyasa. Through you go, lifting up and stay in your down dog. Find your dog. Excellent. Take a settle here. Reacquaint yourself with your dog. This is your rest pose. Take a moment. Pedal it out if you feel like you need to after those twists. Lovely. When you're ready, take a deep breath in. Bring your right leg high and sweep it through. Lovely. Up into your high pose. I'm going to spin now to the side. I shall spin this way. So right leg forward, back heel high. Fantastic. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Going to spin over. So we're going to stretch into a sort of, stretch through to a Utthita Parsvakonasana. Check your foundations. Push down through both feet, opening up, checking in with that SI joint and stretching up and over. Lovely. And then dropping down to the bind if that works for you. So opening up and stretching away. Keep even weight through both feet and align the neck and the spine. Keep breathing here. Draw the energy in. Roll the inner thighs out to help activate. Lovely. And bring yourself all the way back up. Lovely. Release that off onto the other side. So up to you. You can take a half vinyasa now and bring yourself back through from the down dog. We have the left leg forward. You decide. Or you can just stride back with the right leg into the high lunge. Settling here, drawing the right leg forward and the left leg back so you start to straighten up the pelvis, curling the tail under lightly. Spin into your Parsvakonasana, sweeping it up and over, thinking of the alignment, opening the heart, bringing yourself over, settling here, stretching away. Find the pose,
getting into a great position, rolling the thighs out, and then when you're ready, taking it down to the bind and stretching up, up and away. Option to look up here if you want to. Keep breathing. Lovely. When you're ready, bring yourself back out and striding forward to the front of the mat. Lovely. Take a moment here then. So we're going to take another vinyasa, taking it down to a down dog and then through into some pigeon poses. So I'm going to talk that through with you. You might need to have your towel blanket ready. Excuse me, just need another drink. So, down then through your vinyasa if you'd rather not to, just down to a down dog. So, carefully does it then, taking your time to get into your pigeon pose. And lift your leg high, drop the right hip though, and turn the toes in as you then bring that knee through to the right wrist. Make your adjustments, check in with your pelvis and settle into the high pose. So this will be the pigeon A. Bringing yourself up first, stretching up, up and away, lengthening. Drawing the right hip back and the left hip forward and pushing both feet into the floor, popping the heart through to the front. I'll take the other version on the other side and carefully does it. We're going to spin out. So bring the left hand into the center, lift up and lengthen and stretch out to the back. There is the option as well to bend that back knee and catch the back foot if you prefer. Carefully release it off, hands to the front. Lovely. Take time if you need to go through the variations on pigeon, that's absolutely fine. We're going to move through back to down dog. Reset that hip. Take a moment to settle. Lift that left leg high now. Drop the left hip. Lovely. And turn the toes into the middle and bring that knee through. So knee to the wrist. Adjust yourself into position, settling yourself, making sure that back leg's nicely in line with the back hip. Deep breath in, lengthening up, up and away. Draw the left hip back and the right hip forward and lengthen up, pop the heart through to the front. Settling here, lengthening, obviously taking care of your knees. Any pain in the knee, you roll off onto the bent leg butt cheek and come out of the pose. Carefully does it, twisting in. So tented or flat hands here. Keep the height in the pose as you spin and twist, and the option to catch the back foot. My knees are so knobbly, I'm not going to do that. This floor's quite hard. Carefully does it. Lovely. Bring it back to center. Release it off. Place the hands back into high plank. The chaturanga or your low plank, knees down if you prefer at this point, and push back to your down dog. Take a moment to reset the pelvis here. So spend time walking your dog, listening to the SI joints. This will just stretch deeply into the piriformis if you've got the pose just right, so you'll feel it deep in your bum, and you need to reset those sort of both wings of the pelvis. Lovely. So carefully does it then now. We're going to go into our, we've hit the 60-minute mark, so we're going to go into our inversions. So again, you'll call on inversions, Viparita Karani, legs up the wall, still lovely, into Yoga Nidra-esque position if you prefer, with your legs bent on a sofa or a chair of a suitable height, and your hips directly underneath your knees, so you get that lovely right angled position through the knees and through the hips, so you're nicely settled. Excuse me. If you prefer, hay fever rather than COVID, if you prefer, you would also be able to take a headstand or handstand or Pinchamayurasana if you're working towards scorpion as well, that's your call.
up to you whether you want to take the tripod version. So you decide. In any of the lifts, scorpion would be quite good in terms of opening up into those back bends, which we've been doing today, and opening up the hip. But if you're not quite there yet, you decide what inversion works for you. So, working safely in headstand, you know that we're not looking for any pressure, particularly through the cervical vertebra. There's an awful lot of push down going through the arms. Okay, so we're looking to protect those neck muscles and those neck discs as best we can. So if you feel that there's too much pressure coming down through the head, okay, then you need to work on pushing down and lifting up and out of those shoulder joints. And there is also the opportunity, of course, of padding up your head. Just make sure it's not going to move around too much. Okay, so finding your inversions, I'm whittering on here. So find the inversion that works for you today. So taking your time in your inversions, there's no need to hurry out. If you've been carefully cultivating your inversion and just got just right, then spend time settling into pose. If you're preferring to make your way out of your inversion, if you've been trying handstand or something a little bit more energizing, shall we say, then we're just going to lie down in Apanasana, knees to chest, and repeat our lying twists with bent legs that we did at the start. So this, we're just working down towards our relaxation now, towards Shavasana. So carefully does it then, when you're ready, bringing yourself down to the mat. No hurry if you're still up and still inverted. When you get to your Apanasana, carefully looking at the level of the pelvis, draw the right knee in, flattening the lower back a little bit. Also option here to take the figure 4 stretch into the piriformis of the bent top leg. So catching behind the knee, pushing away, lifting up, 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 and then flattening the spine down. So I'm getting the pose lifted and then flattening. Flexing both feet if that also helps. For some people it does, for some people it doesn't. Lovely. Change to Apanasana on the other side when you're ready. Change that into figure 4 when you're ready. Leg on top, pick the leg up, draw and lift the pelvis off the floor as you push the knee away with the other elbow. And then as you hold that pose, rest the head down and flatten the pelvis down towards the floor to increase the stretch on the piriformis, and then hold, flexing the feet if that works for you. Keep breathing here. Band is still in, by the way. Use your breath. Lovely. Carefully release that off. Lying twists, crossing the legs, stretching away, opening into the Isle of Man flag, turning away. Breathing here into the twist. Take your time. When you're ready, knees back in parallel. Head up, then knees up. Cross legs over to the other side. Drawing away with the right arm, right shoulder. Drawing down the back.
cross over and stretch away. Breathe into that deep twist. Legs back together, head back up, knees back up. Hug your knees into your chest. So when you're ready, you can settle yourself down to your Shavasana. If you prefer, having done quite a lot of work on the lower back and also on the pelvis, then you can settle yourself onto your right hand side, unless you are pregnant at the moment, and good luck if you're doing the Vinyasa, that's fantastic. Taking care of your lower back and your pelvis, lying on your left hand side if you're over 30 weeks. So carefully does it then. I'm going to bring ourselves now into our relaxation. The practice is over, the bandhas are released, and there is nothing else to do now. So we are settling the body, settling the breath. Tracing all of the contours of the body that are in touch with the floor. Releasing yourself down to the mat, down into the earth. No need to resist. Submit to gravity. Today's option here is to think about giving yourself to the day instead of trying to take from it. Welcome the paradoxes at the heart of your life. And with the clear skies at the moment, step outside after dark. Watch the moon. Reflect on the dark and light in your life. Ask others you know to step into their gardens and look at the moon at the same time as you. And express your soulful contact at a distance. So if you've got the time to continue on with your Shavasana, feel free to enjoy the rest and the space. And I'll see you again on Friday. Thank you and Namaste.